Hey everyone, Jake from 8020 Automotive here. Today we're talking about U1000 fault codes. A U1000 fault code will read out as CAN communication line error. And the issue with a U1000 fault code is it just means that there's an issue somewhere in the CAN bus communication network. It doesn't tell you which module can't talk to another module or where the potential problem might be. So it is very generic, which makes it a little bit more difficult to track down. So every modern vehicle has dozens of control modules on it. The most common ones that you'll likely know of are the engine control module, or the ECM. You have the transmission control module, but there are also dozens of other control modules for almost every other function. So you have an airbag control module, you have a steering wheel control module, you have one for the ABS system, you have one for the body control module. So there are dozens of control modules on these vehicles, and they all communicate with each other through what is called the CAN bus. And now what that looks like in reality is there are wires that go from one control module to another control module, and there's two primary wires, which one is the CAN high and the other is the CAN low. So when we have an issue with a U1000 fault code, that basically means that we have an issue somewhere in those wires with one module not being able to talk to another module. There are a few ways that we can go ahead and try to determine where the issue might lie, and that brings us to the symptoms that you'll typically get with a U1000 fault code. Now, the symptoms that you get are going to vary widely depending on which control module is having issues communicating. For example, if your engine control module is having problems, then you're likely going to have a lot of issues going on with the engine. It's going to be running very poorly. You might have a problem trying to start the vehicle. If you have an issue with the transmission control module, you might not be able to shift into gear or shift out of gear, or your vehicle enters limp mode. And from there it goes on to everything such as your airbag light might be going off, or your ABS traction control lights are going off. So the symptoms are really going to vary widely as to what the problem is, but we can use that to help us determine which module might be the one with the problem. So the main point here is that a U1000 fault code is predominantly going to be a secondary issue. It's going to be caused by something else that's going on, and so you'll likely be able to tell based on what else is going on which module this might be affecting. So I know that's not the most helpful in figuring out exactly what the issue is, so let's talk about some of the most common causes of U1000 fault codes. The most common thing that you're going to experience is a weak battery. What happens when your battery is weak or isn't holding the proper amount of voltage is that can go ahead and lead to communication issues between certain modules. If there's not enough battery power, then those modules aren't getting the power that they need to be able to send their communications across the CAN bus lines. The second most common thing is going to be issues with your ground straps. Now, the electrical setup of every vehicle has what are called ground straps. So basically your battery is going to be grounded off on the chassis. The motor is going to be grounded off to the chassis as well. And these are literal braided metal straps that are going to connect directly from the engine block to some metal part of the chassis. If these ground straps are bad, that can go ahead and cause voltage issues throughout the whole electrical system, and that therefore can throw off all the control modules and cause U1000 codes. The third most common thing is going to be issues with the wiring. Like I mentioned, this CAN bus network is really just wires that are all connected to each other. So if we have a bad wiring harness somewhere, if maybe some of the wires got chewed through or corroded, it's possible that you just have a bad wiring harness where the CAN bus wires are exposed and not working properly. This one's a little more tricky because of course it's, well, which wiring harness, because so many of them are in the vehicle. The fourth most common thing here is going to be an actual failed module. It is completely possible for engine control modules, transmission control modules, airbag modules, etc. to fail. It is definitely less common or less likely than the other things on this list, but it is possible, especially if your specific vehicle is known to have control module failures. And then my fifth thing on this list, which actually could be more common, is if you've had any sort of aftermarket electronic thing wired into your vehicle, such as car alarms, audio systems, GPS trackers, any aftermarket system that has been wired into the vehicle could have been installed incorrectly or could have caused some sort of issue that's leading to this U1000 code. So those are the 5 most common causes. Let's go ahead and now talk about some steps that you can follow to try to diagnose what the issue is. First, you're going to want to start with the battery. Let's go ahead and test your battery, test it while the engine's turned off, test it while the engine's turned on, and make sure it's holding enough voltage to not be an issue, because like I mentioned, your engine can still start, but your battery could still be weak. Second, we're going to want to inspect the ground straps. Now, ground straps are very easy to tell when they're bad. You'll see a lot of corrosion on them. The more challenging thing is just figuring out where they are. So you'll have to go ahead and determine where all of the ground straps are on your vehicle. There's usually going to be 2 or 3 of them. Like I mentioned, your battery is going to ground off to the chassis. The engine block is going to ground off to the chassis as well. And so you'll want to go ahead and look up where those ground straps are. And then usually you should be able to get kind of a visual view of them to see if there's a ton of corrosion around the ground strap. The third thing that you're going to want to do is inspect the wiring. Now, like I mentioned, this is going to require you to understand what wiring to look at. So to do that, let's take a look at what signs or symptoms we're getting with this. And most importantly, let's take a look if there are any other fault codes that are going on in the vehicle. If you have some other fault code that's pointing you towards a specific module, maybe you've got a wheel speed sensor code coming off, that might point you to the ABS module that controls the wheel speed sensors. So if we look at other fault codes and we look at the kind of symptoms that we're getting with this U1000 code, that's going to help point us into the right direction of what module we might need to be looking at, and then we can go ahead and look at the main wiring harness and wiring connectors for that module. Those are going to be the 3 main things that I would do. A few other things that are definitely worthwhile is checking fuses. Make sure you don't have a blown fuse that's causing an issue. And another good idea is just to try to clear the codes and see if they return. Sometimes there can just be some intermittent faults or issues to where an error code pops up, but it was a very temporary thing and you can clear the code and it'll never come back. So those are the last 2 things that I'd recommend doing, which are probably good things to maybe do before you even get into all of this other stuff, just since they're pretty easy to do. That wraps it up for our video on diagnosing U1000 fault codes. If you guys appreciate this video, please click the like button, subscribe to our channel, and stay tuned for all our future diagnostic content.